Have you ever picked an answer on a GMAT assumption question because it seemed super necessary, but then it turned out you were incorrect? That is no accident. The test is designed to trick you with choices that feel important to establish the argument, but they actually don't support the conclusion in the way that a necessary assumption has to. I'm Julia, and today I'm going to show you how to spot those traps and choose the right answer instead. Let's break this down. On GMAT assumption questions, trap answers fall into a few different categories. Today we are focusing on only one, trap answers that are clearly related to the argument, but not necessary for it to work. When you're looking for an assumption, the key is to find an unstated piece of information that must be true in order for the evidence to support the conclusion. That's your goal. And if you keep that top of mind, you are a lot less likely to fall for a tempting but ultimately irrelevant trap answer. Let's look at an example. The compensation of agents at the Home Squad real estate agency located in Verdantville comes only in the form of commissions that are based on the prices of the houses that they sell. This year, the average selling price of a house in Verdantville is expected to be only half what it was last year. Therefore, this year, the average compensation of agents at the Home Squad agency will likely be around half what it was last year. That seems logical enough. Their compensation is entirely based on commissions, and they are dealing with housing inventory that costs half what the housing inventory last year cost. The conclusion does seem to follow. Which of the following is an assumption upon which the above conclusion depends? Let's look at a potential answer. Demand for houses in Verdantville plummeted because a large company relocated from Verdantville to a different city. Our conclusion is that this year, the average compensation of the Home Squad agents will likely be around half of what it was last year. This answer might seem important. It could be tempting because it's giving us information about the economy that these agents are dealing with in Verdantville. It explains why house prices are expected to drop or have dropped on average, and that does seem important. Here's the issue. We are not looking for an explanation as to why the house prices have dropped. We already know that the prices are lower. The argument takes that as a given. So what we need is something that connects these expected lower prices to the idea that the agent's compensation will drop. Compare this answer to this year, the number of houses sold per agent at the Home Squad agency will not be significantly higher than it was last year. Notice that the impact of this statement is a lot more explicit. If agents are going to sell way more houses this year, even at lower prices, their total compensation might not go down at all. In fact, it could increase if they sell enough houses. If there is plenty of inventory at these new lower prices, then the conclusion no longer follows from the premises. So the author must be assuming that the number of houses sold per agent won't increase significantly. If that assumption turns out to be false, the whole argument collapses. What's our big takeaway? More information is only helpful if it's relevant to the conclusion in front of you. Otherwise, it's just background info and noise that you don't need. An appropriately tempting trap is going to try to pull you into side stories, such as explanations, background facts, or other related information, but it doesn't bridge the gap between the evidence and the conclusion, so it's not what you're looking for. The right answer is the one that has to be true for the argument's logic to hold up. Stick with that mindset, stay focused, and you will stop falling for these traps. See you next time.